What's up? It's your guy, Arnell. Check me out on Instagram, Workable. DM me for any commissions that you might have. So today I'm gonna be drawing Deadpool. As always, it starts out with a circle. Then I can put my guidelines down so I know where I can place the eyes, nose, the mouth, and the chin. So as you see, I started with the eyes. The eyes pretty much is gonna line up everything for you. You get the eyes right, then you probably gonna have the rest of it right. I'm using a mechanical pencil right here. Keeping my lines light, no hard lines because nothing is gonna be definite until you ink it. After I get the eyes lined up, Deadpool doesn't have ears, doesn't have nose, you doesn't see his mouth because of his mask. I go ahead and I try to find the jawline. The jawline, it'll lead up to where the ear is supposed to be from the chin. So right now, I'm going to work on shaping the head, and then I'll go back down to the eyes and try to get them lined up correctly. After, working on the head, working on the face area, there's not much to work on with Deadpool. I go down to the neck. He's got a little neck collar or whatever you want to call it. Deadpool's a weird guy. Work down the neck, get his trapezius muscles. Then I go to his chest. He's got on his costume. Different people draw them different ways. It's depending on what style you want to do. So I put the neck muscles in, starting to shade a little bit. I'm shading on the front of the face to show, where the mouth and nose would be, just, lightly, so you'll know, it'll give an idea of where it is. You don't draw the nose, you don't draw the mouth because he has a mask. Then I keep working on his mask, the black part of his mask around his eyes. I shade it lightly because even though it's all black in that area, you still have to leave some areas so you can show, his facial expression if he's frowning. Deadpool sometimes, he's a jokester. He might be smiling, might have one eye open larger than the other. But, you don't shade it all the way black, just put it black, because then you won't have room for, making those facial expressions, all right? So after that, I go ahead and I, erase the darker lines so I can get ready to start inking. That's when I use my kneaded eraser. And of course, technical difficulties again. I did catch it in time to, before I finish the whole inking process. Here I'm inking it. I don't cover every line with ink. I just, do the lines that I feel needs to be inked, needs to be shown, because I'm going to come back after this and I'm going to do some shading. So here I'm starting to shade. Shading in the black part and leaving areas, not shaded, not as dark, so that I can show the facial expression. It takes time. It takes a little skill to do so. You just want to leave some areas not as dark, and to do that, you just don't put as many lines, as many shading lines. The more shading lines, the darker it is. The less shading lines, the lighter it is. So here I am erasing off some of my guidelines because I really don't need them no more. So I'm erasing the guidelines so I can prep myself for the marker part of the drawing. So I'm going to erase around the face, around the head. I've used my Copic liner to ink it and put shadows in. Now I'm going to erase, and then I'm going to come back with the grayscale marker. I'm going to go grayscale on this one. As you can see, I did a cast shadow of the head onto the neck and part of the chest. For his costume, the black area, I'm using a marker for the black part to get that all the way black, all the way dark. There isn't any, shading or highlights in that area. So we're going to just go ahead and black that out. If there is, we can always come back with our white Posca pen and put those highlights in. All right, we got one side. Now let's get the other side. I'm covering it up while I'm doing it because, you know, the page want to bend and want to fold. I'm trying to hold the paper down so that it won't, you know, roll up while I'm coloring it. All right, so now back to touching up some more of the shadow before I actually get into the marker part of it. I'm getting more detailed on the neck collar. Then I go to the gray marker. So the gray marker is the lightest one I have first off, is going to go into, you know, all of the areas that I have shaded with the ink pen. Then I'm going to come back after that, and I'm going to get, you know, a darker marker to go on top of that. But first I got to cover up, you know, all those areas that I think needs, you know, the grayscale of the marker, the lightest grayscale. Then I come back, here I am with the next lightest or the next darkest marker, whichever way you want to call it. It's the one in the middle for me. Okay, so yeah, I'm touching up all of these parts that are dark. I'm getting the darker shade in, trying to get a contrast between the lighter marker and the next darkest. Then I go to the darkest marker that I have, grayscale that is, and I get the even darker spots, you know, right around the eyes, under the neck, under the jaw on the neck, in the corner areas of the muscles and where, you know, the art meets at. So next I'm going to outline, you know, the shadows with more detail. Take my inker, my pen, and do that. Then I'll put marks over the, you know, costume, over his body in the areas, just so it's just not blank. It could leave a little like battle hardened, or like he's been through some things. Then I take my white Posca pen. Then I put a rim light on the left side, you know, to show that there's a rim light over there. I go to the neck collar and add some detail with the white Posca pen, show that I guess it has it's metal, has a shininess to it. Then I'm gonna grab my gray marker and work on the background just to make it pop. You can use the darker gray, middle gray, lighter gray. It's all up to you. It's your preference. You know, sign it. There you have it. Deadpool. Thanks for watching. Check me out again at Work of Woo on Instagram. Commissions are open. Just DM me. Let me know what you need. I got you. Later.